Hey everyone, what is going on? Welcome back to another episode, and just like the last one, this is going to be a short, quick one for you. This is primarily for the questions I get around gear, and I get this question a lot about which gear pieces should I be working on, which one should I level up first, which one should I make mythic first. Please like and subscribe, and let's jump into this video. First of all, if you're leveling up heroes, this say it's your first team, and you're trying to figure out what to do, when you're leveling up your attackers, you should be leveling up your attack gear, which is on the left side. And then for your defenders, you should be leveling up the right side. So the defenders up front, they're going to be the ones that you want to have nice and beefy. So like my Adam here, I got this guard piece leveled up to 40, this piece leveled up to 40. And I always recommend that you do things in increments of 20 instead of increments of 10. Because I see it a lot where people have a bunch of level 10 gear and they're missing out a lot of the bonuses versus having a couple pieces at 20, a couple pieces at 40, and getting those better buffs. If you didn't know, things like the radar, where at level 10 you get the hero defense increase of 100, but then at 20 you get this energy damage resistance of 10%, and then 40 you get another 10%. That's 20% energy damage resistance for this hero. And then jumping up to the armor, you'll see its physical damage resistance. So that 20 and 40 milestone on the pieces of gear, especially on the defense gear, is very, very useful. And then same thing when you're looking at the guns. When you're looking at the increments of 10 here, you get the hero attack. So a lot of people, they really want to get the hero attack. But the crit rate is very, very useful. The more crits you do, the more crit damage you do, the higher your damage potential is. And if you're working on your first team, second team, third team, whatever, following this general guide will help you a lot, because the last thing you want to do is have the wrong gear upgraded and have to continue to break those pieces down to correct your gear. And it only gets worse whenever you're talking about star upgrades. So first levels 1 through 40, you'll see you'll want to do something similar to what I have going on with my missile team here. If it's tank, it's a little bit different because you don't level up Marshall's gun, because Marshall's gun is not useful to him. He's more of like a tank. So think of Marshall as your tank hero. You want to upgrade his defensive stuff, his data chip versus his gun. But in general, when you're talking about your attackers, again, the gun and the data chips, those are going to be the first ones you take to 40. For your defensive heroes, it's going to be your armor and your radar pieces. Take those up to 40. And then once those are all 40, I would recommend going back to your attackers, leveling up their defensive gear, and then lastly, I would go back to your defensive heroes. You'd level up those tactic data chips, and then level up the guns to 40 last. Then going to my main squad here, talking about star upgrades. And I know my teams are a little bit mixed up right now because I'm running this different hero lineup, but in general, when you're talking about your defensive heroes, you want to get those armor pieces and radar pieces to 4-star. And then for your backline, your attackers, I recommend getting a hero to 4-star on their gun, one of your attackers. So like Diva, your Kim, your Tesla, or your Swift. Get them a 4-star gun as soon as possible so you can push that world boss damage and continue to get those returns from that. So 4-star gun would be my first choice. And then after that, you could do another 4-star gun, or you can start working on the defensive gear for your front line. But I would not recommend doing a bunch of 4-star guns and 4-star data chips and have no frontline defense. I see that happen often where the frontline heroes, say your Lucius and like a Carly, or if you have Murphy and Williams, and they have no defensive gear, but your backline is stacked. And then moving on to Mythic prints, I would highly suggest, if you did a red cannon, okay, red cannons are good, but they're not as great as a radar. A Mythic radar is extremely useful. It's probably the best Mythic upgrade in the game. A lot of people upgrade all kinds of Mythic radars before they do a lot of other gear. And I would say data chips are the last ones you upgrade to Mythic. I don't care how great you think your Diva is or your Kim is. Don't go a red star gun and then a red Mythic data chip. Don't do that combination. You need to be doing some radars in there, some armor pieces to help make that front line beefy. So real quick recap, when you're leveling up gear, try to focus on increments of 20. And then same thing when you're doing your star upgrades, making sure you're doing increments of 2 here. So 1 star, 2 star, and then go 3 star, 4 star. Don't get a bunch of 1 star pieces. Don't get a bunch of 3 star pieces. Focus in on getting things to 2 and then 4, because that's going to get you those milestones again. So it goes from 2.5% to 5% on the crit rate. So I'm getting 10% crit rate in total for getting this gun to 4 star. And then same thing with the radars and armor pieces. You can see here energy damage reduction is 20%, and then the down at the bottom here, if I get it to 4 star, that's another 20%. That's 40% in total when this is 4 star. And people ask me often why I don't recommend upgrading the data chip to Mythic. Yes, you can get the Mythic to 4 star. You can upgrade it all the way up, get it ready for Mythic, but stop there. Why? Because the only thing this does when you upgrade it to Mythic is they reduce the damage taken on counters. So unless you're planning on taking a bunch of counter damage, this is not going to be helpful for you, because it's not going to it's not going to increase the damage output. It's not going to help with world boss damage. Yes, you're going to get these slight increases to the attack and the boost hero attack down here at the bottom when you level this up. But I would say that Mythic data chip is probably one of the last things that you upgrade on your team. The only 2 times you may not do that would be if you are running an attacker in the front line like I am with my Diva. I got her for full Mythic because I want her to survive and do a bunch of damage at the same time. Same thing with missile teams. You throw Swift in the front, you want to have a full Mythic setup on him. All right, if you got any questions about your gear, you're not sure what you're going to upgrade, come out to the Discord, come out to the streams, ask some questions. I try to do account reviews a couple times a week. So come on out to the Discord, join the live streams, ask questions, and we'll try to help you out if you got any questions. As always, guys, thanks again for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.